So Grand Canyon, we're going to go down the Kaibab Trail, which essentially is going to take us from the top, and we're going to skirt in some zigzags into the middle of the rock face there, and then we're going to follow pretty much this seam here. There's actually a path there to there actually, which is called Point, and from Point we're going to zigzag down the back and come out over there to Cedar Point, where we should see some amazing views up into the Grand Canyon. Let's do it. Is simply to go from just outside the visitor centre, about 1.3 miles along the rim trail to the South Kaibab trailhead. Although the origin of the Grand Canyon is complex and not totally deciphered, the forces that shaped it are well understood. Grand Canyon is the result of erosion, specifically incision by the Colorado River into a high arid plateau. The Colorado River carved the depth of the canyon as it's cut through the Kaibab Plateau, which is more than 7,000 feet above sea level. Side canyons scoured by summer thunderstorms and winter snowmelt produce much of the Grand Canyon's 10 to 16 mile width. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why you have to keep your children on a lead when you come here.
Wow.
2.5 miles of the rim done. Now to head for the Kaibab Trail, and down we go. This is the famous Point. So let's hear you give us an ooh and an ah in the comments. One of the issues about coming down this canyon is that you spend most of your time looking at where your feet are to make sure you don't trip on one of these rocks, and you have to remember to stop and look up and just take in the view. I'm sorry viewers, but this iPhone in 4K 60 frames per second can't even do this justice. So can we get an NP score here of the Grand Canyon?
Simply spectacular.
Okay, we're now approaching Cedar Flats, which could well be the lunch spot. How long does it take you to get down?
About 2.5 hours.
Okay, and do you are you going up or coming down now?
Going up.
And do you rest them here for very long?
Yeah. Give them a long break.
This mule train is taking all the supplies, or in this case bringing all the garbage up from the lodge down by the Colorado River. Tea in the Adnams cup, so give the beer a cheer. Cheers. So if you only ever come to the visitor centre and go to the lookout, it's up there. But this is what you see from 1,000 foot below you. Okay, we've come down, and the only way is up. These national park people think of everything, look. Well, if it's written down, it must be true. My First Amendment right tells me to make sure you give this hike a like. There we go. Rights exercised.